Man United didn't win at the weekend, and been quite a lot of interesting conversations online over the last few days, and fans in heavy frustration. I was very annoyed after not winning, but I woke up the next morning feeling okay about it. Online said differently. There was a lot of we've been defrauded in the last 3 games, but one of the biggest conversations has been around Benjamin Šeško. Gary Neville has come out and said he's not convinced. There are a lot of United fans saying he's been quite good, and people are being too harsh. Where do you sit on all of this, David? I haven't read much of it today. I've seen some bits in the group chat today with you and the United fans sort of not very happy. And yeah, I just wanted to know where you stand with it, considering, and I will ask you this, and I'll be honest about this, it was only 4 days ago you were talking about you felt that we were on the edge of something special, maybe. Now there seems to be a lot of frustration again, and I'm just sort of trying to understand where you are with Man United right now.
Look, it's pretty obvious I'm quite an emotional fan, but we've had a few back and forths, me and KJ earlier today in regards to what I said about Sesko. I mean, I said that before I even saw Gary Neville say it. It was widely publicised that Wilcox, he had already signed Mbeumo, he had already signed Cunha. That was already in the bag. And the options were, do we get a striker or do we get a midfielder, right? He said, we need goals. So he went and got a striker, right? Listen, it was his decision. It was his choice. I'm saying now, at the stage we're at now, 10 games in, that could change. That could change. But this is what we're doing here. We're discussing as and when of now. I think that was the wrong decision. I believe if we had gone for a midfielder, don't know what that is.
That's Dan.
We had, yeah.
and his technical issues again.
Yeah.
Sorry, lads.
I believe if we had gone for a midfielder, we would control games more, meaning we would concede less, meaning we would probably have more possession and get the ball more to Cunha and Mbeumo, which would maybe give Højlund, Xerxes, Obi Martin some more chances. In my opinion, I think it was the wrong decision and we should have gone for a midfielder. This is nothing to do with Sesko. It's not personal. I just think it was the wrong transfer. I wasn't a big fan of Højlund at all, but I think by chance he could have got some more chances from Cunha, from Mbeumo, and a midfielder that made us control the game more. That's my opinion on it, mate. I know it's a tough one for you to take because you don't agree. But as far as I'm concerned, Sesko's not really lit it up for me. It's early days. I was having this conversation earlier before you jump in, Terry. Sorry. I think Xerxes is better than him in all departments from what I've seen so far. I think Xerxes' link-up plays better. I think Xerxes' passing's better. His dribbling's better. I'd say they're equivalent in strength. I mean, we've paid 70 million for a lamppost a little bit. He's good at headering, but that's all. That's all I see, bruv. I'm really sorry. I didn't want to offend the geezer, but I'm not impressed. We've brought him in to win games such as Nottingham Forest. I'm sure when Wilcox spends 70 million on him, he's thinking he's going to nick me goals against teams like Nottingham Forest, and he was awful on the weekend, mate.
So the only thing so you said in the first monologue that it's not about Šeško, and then he went on to say that he's a lamppost. So is it, because I saw that you did a video in the summer saying that Darwin Núñez is better than Šeško. Is it kind of about pushing your narrative that you don't think, is this more about pushing the narrative that Šeško isn't good enough? Or is it about we just didn't need a striker, we needed a midfielder? Which is it, in your opinion?
I like that. You've gone back in my videos and had a little look at what I did. I know you didn't see that when I released it, Terry, that's for sure. I do believe Darwin Núñez is better than Sesko, yes. and I'm sure if you ask in the chat, I would have taken Darwin Núñez ahead of Sesko, 100%. Prem proven, he can score goals, he's tenacious. Listen, I ain't going to lie, Liverpool look like they're missing Darwin Núñez, mate.
I agree.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. I don't mind this Sesko fella. From the little clips that I've seen of him in a few. Well, I've seen quite a few United games. Obviously, he's not had a lot of starts, but I don't think he's been that bad. I still think that you've signed this player, right? So because you've signed a young player, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to give him time because you've signed a young project player. Yeah, that's what you've done. Yeah. Now, should you be doing that? And is he good enough for United right now? Maybe not. But your club has decided to get this young player And that means you're going to have to just accept it. Now, you don't have to accept it, but, there's nothing really you can do about it other than moan. I think that his link up has been pretty good. I've been pretty impressed with his hold-up play.
Oh, you're right, LB.
Ball in the back of the net.
No, he's back. He's back. Sorry, you cut out. Sorry, LB, you cut out when you said hold-up play. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. To be honest with you, listen, I'm not trying to say the guy's a great player or whatever, but to be honest, the standards were on the floor. I didn't think the guy was a great player anyway, but from what I've seen, I don't think he's been that.
But LB, the question is, do you think we should have got a midfielder instead of him? Would we be better off?
Yes, and I told Terry, that they should have gone all out for Belabor, innit, Terry? And then when they was linked with him, I was like, damn, I think Belabor. I know he's not been great this year, but the thing is with that system, and I said it before, United need legs in that midfield. And they ain't got legs in that midfield. They're still playing with Casemiro. They bring Ugarte on, who's
Bruno out of position.
They need legs in that midfield.
So can I just touch on Sesko? Yeah, Sesko, has he had a run of games? Has he played 5 games in a row, starting every game?
No, and the reason for that is because the manager loves Mason Mount, and Mason Mount has played 40% of our games, right? And the win percentage with Mason Mount and Sesko is exactly the same. KJ told me that
listen,
today.
As a striker.
Sorry, Dan, but there's something a little disingenuous in that. Yes, he's played 40% of the games, but we've only played 10. And the first 3 to 4 matches of the season, 3 matches, like the first few matches of the season, Šeško had just arrived, wasn't match fit and ready to start. You're talking 40% he started, right? You're talking starts, right? I assume. Yeah. So Šeško wasn't even ready to start the first 2 or 3 games from a fitness point of view. So you're taking 30% of the games away that he could potentially start. The next game that he didn't start over him was the Liverpool match, which got ridiculed. And then it turned out it was the absolute right tactic. So you're taking 40% of the games that Mason Mount has started over Šeško, already out of the 10. I've quite literally been down to Šeško not having a pre-season and then a tactical switch which led to one of our best wins in the last decade. So I just feel like that's a bit of a disingenuous knock. And the thing is, the question I've got for all of you, if we'd have been better off with a midfielder, Man United are 2 points off second. 2 points off second.
3 points. We could have been 3 points better off, Terry.
Okay, we could have been 3 points better off, but do you know what I find very interesting about this conversation with you, David? My only real challenge on your opinion is that you got quite animated with me on 3 or 4 match reactions where we didn't win. When I said if those players converted their chances, we'd have got more points. And you said football isn't about if, buts, and maybes. All you've sat here and done for 10 minutes, you do if, buts, and maybes. So that's my only challenge to you.
You're rubbing off on him.
Is that you're now...
Yeah, that's it. You've converted me. You've converted me, Terry. So now I use if, buts, and maybes, you see.
But and I'm fine with that, as long as when we have a game that we don't win and we have 3 or 4 good chances, as long as you're not blaming that on the manager and you're going, well, if those players scored, we win today. As long as you're use it as positively as you do in this regard, it's fine to me. By the way, do whatever you want. Yeah. I look at it this way. The Xerxes thing's really interesting because we were looking at this yesterday. When you compare, for instance, if we bought a midfielder, we'd have Rasmus at the football club. And for me, Rasmus couldn't trap a bag of cement. Rasmus could barely pass a ball. And when you even look, this is Rasmus's entire season versus Šeško in 5 starts. You look at the difference in numbers. You look at the difference in quality per 90 minutes, all right, versus each other. Šeško is already outstripping him in every single area, barring touches in the opponent's box. Outside of that, he leaves him for absolute dead. And for me, I agree with LB. If you compare what Rasmus was doing last season, hold up play, passing, creating chances. He's only 1 goal away from matching his entire season last year. So my issue with the narrative, we should have bought a midfielder, is that this is what I think it would have done. I agree with LB. The midfield, if we put Belabor or if we put Wharton in our midfield.
Frankie de Jong. Let's say we put Frankie de Jong.
Yeah, but Frankie de Jong's an impossible signing because he wouldn't have left Barca. So let's go with some possibilities, right? You put them in our midfield, the midfield improves. The issue that you have is that when we're then trying to move the ball up front and that ball gets played into... Just think about this 3rd goal against Brighton. That ball goes into Rasmus. That touch and that kind of... I don't know what the skill's called where you control it and you do a little back flick and turn, create space and pass it through to Mbumo. When was the last time any of us scored... Whatever it's called, yeah. When did we see Rasmus do that? What I saw from Rasmus last year was the ball hit his foot. in the middle of the pitch and go out for a throw-in all the time. Now, I'm exaggerating slightly. So for me, this is what would have happened if we bought a midfield player. We'd have seen a better midfield. But then we'd be focused on the fact that we don't have a proper number 9 or a number 9 that's better, and we'd be moaning about it. Or we'd be focusing on the fact the left-back's got issues, and we are now starting to do that with Delo. I don't think we could have ever had a summer where we weren't looking at our squad 5 games, 10 games, 20, 30 games in going, we've got all these problems still, because we are a really crap squad. So I don't overly disagree. We could have gone down that direction. All that would be happening now is that we'd still probably be in and around the same position in the league, in my opinion, and we'd be focusing on well, where could we have got a marginal gain? But I feel like it's a little bit Peter and Paul with our squad. You know, if we can give to Peter, but it means we're going to take from Paul, and it's going to take us a little while to fix that. Personally,
can I ask a quick question? I might be wrong in this, but when Arsenal brought Declan Rice, they also needed a striker, but they went all in for Declan Rice. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not.
At the time. Right?
No, you're right.
And instead of going for the striker, they went for Declan Rice. Right? Did it progress them as a team? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right?
Hang on a minute. Before you say yes, hang on. Before you say yes, Dan, I just want to throw this back out there. Didn't we spend a lot of last year with Arsenal fans and rivals saying they've messed up by not investing in a striker? Or am I making that up?
No, but the year before was the year we signed Declan Rice. We went from 84 points to 89 points.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. So let me land.
And then last year, we all know what happened was the injuries. If not, we probably would have won the league.
The point I'm making is they built their spine, right? And they didn't. They built their spine. They didn't start from Sesko. They didn't start with Gyökeres. They made sure they got that midfielder that was going to make them fundamentally solid. So I believe that's what we should have done before we went and got Matey Boy. That's my.
But with Sesko, don't you think strikers? Strikers. They need a run of games. There's no striker that's going to play 2 games, then be on the bench.
I agree too. And you know what?
I agree, Dan. I agree. Sorry, Dan. The issue with the pushback I have against your point, David, is that you're talking about, I feel like you're comparing an apple with a piece of chalk. And the reason that is because Arsenal, when they went and bought Declan Rice, was off the back of a season of challenging for the league title and narrowly missing out, where Man United finished 15th in the league. They also, that season before buying Declan Rice, had broken their own Premier League goal-scoring record, and they scored more goals that season prior to buying Declan Rice than they'd ever scored in any other Premier League season before. They had Saka scoring goals. Hang on, Martinelli had just come off the back of his highest goal-scoring season.
Goals.
I think Odegaard had a good goal-scoring season. Gabriel Jesus, that was his first season where he played very, very well. There is, again, what you're doing, I get your point, but you're looking at 2 very different scenarios. What they needed, Arsenal, was more control in the midfield. What actually they ended up getting wrong is that Martinelli, for instance, and Gabriel Jesus that following season, even though they pushed for a title and missed out by a couple of points, they had nowhere near as good a campaign as the previous year. And there's hindsight in this because we know the facts after. What they really should have done is open up the checkbook and not waited until this summer potentially to buy a striker and done both at the same time. And that for me is the issue. But I don't think we can compare United after coming 15th and being broken versus a team adding what they thought at the time was the final piece to winning a Premier League title.
My pushback to that is you can be 15th, you can be 2nd, you can be 1st. You don't build the base, you don't build the spine from the top, you build it from the bottom. It don't matter where you are in the league. Yeah. And we needed to build our spine. And part of that spine is the fact that we haven't sorted our midfield since Michael Carrick. We've not sorted it since Michael Carrick. We need to, it don't matter where you are in the league, don't matter how well you've done the season before, a spine is built how it's built, from the ground up, from the defense up, from the keeper upwards. I mean, the keeper was the last signing we did in the summer. It probably should have been the first. We might have had a better start to the season. We're building things backwards sometimes. We went and got Cunha, Mbumo, Sesko, when our spine is a mess. We can't even stand up straight. But we've got our earrings in. We've got our new era hat. We've got our haircut.